my car robbed before. I don't want none of that smoke. And there goes your security deposit. Say bye to it. Bye, security deposit, bye, because you're not getting it back. Of apartment fees and trash and electric and gas and all that jazz. So, did that rhyme? Another day, another video. Welcome to my channel. As you can see, there's a new background. I have officially moved into my new apartment. As an ex-lease consultant and a girl in her 20s that just moved into a different state by themselves, I'm gonna be revealing all the secrets and tips for your next move. I'm gonna be giving you guys 10 hacks. And then the first hack is to make sure you have 3 to 5 months of rent already in your bank account. I've been seeing a lot of trends. Oh, I got that first check. I'm ready to move into my new apartment. How much did you get paid for that check? And how much is in your savings? Just to even live comfortably. Because if you moved in a different state like me, then you need to find a job. And if you've been employed like me, you know how hard it is to find a job. So I think it's safe enough to have at least 3 months of rent. Because I was a lease consultant, I know, the fundamentals of apartment fees and trash and electric and gas and all that jazz. So, did that rhyme? Okay, no. But second tip is to call and ask about all the fees. How much is parking? Do I have to pay for parking? Where is the parking? Because I wasn't gonna pay for parking. I was gonna be parked literally on the main street. You have pets, ask how much that is monthly. This is kind of like obviously, but make sure you ask for everything because you don't wanna be chilling in your apartment. You see your rent and it's $200 more. Well, where's that coming from? And they're like, oh yeah, you signed the lease. That is for the, shake my booty fee. Cause you have to shake, it's for a fee you didn't even know. Cause you know damn well you're not gonna look through that 15-page lease. Ask about maintenance, if there's a maintenance fee. Ask about pet, ask about trash, utilities, delivery fees. Cause I didn't know that when my package is here, if it's here for more than a few days, they start charging for it. I didn't know that. So that's why you have to ask for stuff before you're chilling. You're like, oh yeah, I'll pick up that bed frame in like the next 2 weeks. And then you gotta pay $300 to get it. Who got $300? I'll just put a list right here as well. You wanna know what the rent covers, if utilities are covered. You wanna see if amenities are in there, or if not, how can I get some amenities in my rent? But don't be afraid to ask because you don't wanna look like a fool in the end of the day. Because at the end of their day, they're getting that bonus, okay? And that bonus is thick. Number 3, build a rapport. If you have a connection with the lease consultant, it will only help you. Lease consultants and whoever works in the building are people too. If you're nice to a person, they're gonna be nice to you back. If you're mean to that person, they ain't gonna tell you what's up. I was able to get a month rent free. Some people wanna, chit chat on the phone. You never know. Building a rapport is very important because just in case that rent is late, be like, girl, it's hard, sorry I'm bothering you, but girl, I'm late on rent. Is that okay? Blah, blah, blah. But don't always be late on rent. But if you know the person and if they know you and they know your situation and you're just a kind person and they know how kind you are and real, they're gonna do good things for you. I feel like that's with everyone. But if you're mean to that person or have attitude or very short, why would they ever do anything good for you? You feel me? Number 4, move in the middle of the month. This is for prorate savings. If you don't know what prorate is, this is what prorate. That's what prorate is. If you move in the first day of the month, that means you're gonna have to pay the whole month's rent. Rather than the middle of the month, you're just gonna have to pay for those certain days. If you moved already, then prorate, security deposit are 2 different things. Am I making sense? If I'm not making sense, please let me know in the comments so I can specify a little bit more for you. Number 5, if you're moving to a different state, I highly suggest going to the place before you actually move there. You need to tour the place, not only tour, look at the reviews. I did go DMV apartment hunting in January, and all those apartments were very skeptical. Meaning when I looked at the reviews, they all had fishy reviews, meaning like some had flooding, some had trash everywhere, some had break-ins, someone stole a master key and started going into all of the places. Some had cars tires being stolen. Yeah, that's very different for me. I'm not very used to that, especially if I'm moving by myself. I want to pick the safest place for me and my sister. Looking at public transits, yeah. Because one of the other places, it was very beautiful. However, transit was very, very far. Parking was like in a public area where people can walk in, and I got my car robbed before. I don't want none of that smoke. They were very good finds, but however, I just fell in love with another one, and now it's only for doing more research and finding a place that's actually fit for me and my sister. Number 6, adding a guarantor. I think I'm saying that right, a guarantor. Meaning, as you heard before, I was unemployed for a while, but you can add your W-2 from last year. But anyways, if you don't income qualify for the apartment, and income qualifying, basically you would have to have at least 2.5 or 3 times the rent. So let's say your rent was $1,500. Times that by 2.5. I think that's how much you have to make a month for you to income qualify. You can always call them before you put in an application. And this is also a bonus. Sometimes you do have to pay an application fee. If you get declined, oh, you're not getting that money back. Again, ask the questions. What are the fees? And also, I added a guarantor. I'm praying I'm saying that right. A guarantor. Basically someone you add. So if you have a parent that's making money or an aunt that's making a lot of money and you want to add them onto your lease so you can income qualify for the apartment, you can do that. However, they have to sign everything else. If you get a new car, you have to sign a new lease, and they also do too. Let's say you have 2 cars and you're taking one car off, you have to sign another lease. And the guarantors, wherever they are, have to sign it. The guarantor doesn't have to live where you live, but they're gonna be on that lease. In some places, they also have to get renter's insurance, even if they don't live here. This is renter's insurance. It's basically like car insurance, but for your apartment in case something happens. Yes, some places, everybody on the lease has to have renter's insurance. Even if your rich auntie is not living where you live, she also has to pay that monthly, just so you know. I use my parents as a guarantor. It was very helpful, especially they also want to know what's going on. So like they'll also get updates, like if the apartment complex is throwing something, if something happened to the apartment, or all these alerts, just a warning in case you just add random people, they're gonna know the business, okay? They're gonna know the ins and outs. If you're late on rent, if you had a complaint, if you're taking out a car, getting a new car, something happened to your car, if there's something you didn't pay, they're also wanting to know. So this is just a warning or a helpful tip for you. For 7, I would say the longer the lease, the cheaper the rent. The thing that I realized working for apartments is they're kind of greedy. That's with like the whole prorate, and every day they're gonna have to get paid. They're gonna get paid, okay? Especially if you have a lot of amenities, they finna get paid. If you get a 12-month lease, you're basically saying, oh, I wanna stay longer. So you're paying like, let's say my rent was $1,500. But if I say, okay, I wanna stay for only 6 months. All right, you're staying for 6 months? That's $1,800, $1,995. Oh, you're staying for 3 months? That's $2,100. I'll put an explanation here, but I think it's just like they just want you to stay longer. Since that one's a really short one, I'm gonna say this, a little bonus. Take a video as soon as you walk into the apartment. Take a video of everything. They'll most likely give you a move-in checklist for you to double check if everything is okay. Check if there's mold, check if there's scratches, check the floor, check the walls, because if you move out and they see that, they're gonna think you done it. And there goes your security deposit. Say bye to it. Bye security deposit, bye, because you're not getting it back. A little bit more tips and tricks for when you move in. Make sure you check out my TikTok. I'm gonna be dropping 5 different hacks that I didn't say on here, and also I'll add it in the description so you guys can check it out. So for 8, I'm gonna be giving you guys this screenshot. This is what all the things you should be asking. And I'm also going to put in a list right here of all the things you should be buying for your new apartment. So I'm just gonna leave these here. I'm gonna wait for you guys to screenshot. So for number 9, my second to last tip I'm going to be giving you. The peak months is spring to summer. That's when everybody wants to move to a different place. Everyone's feeling nice, everyone's feeling good. So the rent is gonna be up. Supply and demand. My old job was near 2 big colleges in Massachusetts. If you were to get an apartment in the spring and July months, especially let's say May all the way to August, the prices are really high because they know that a lot of people, especially internationally, are looking for a place near the area. And I would say the place that I worked at, it was very, it was near a lot of shopping areas. It was near those 2 colleges, and some kids didn't want to live in the dorms, especially international students. So they were willing to pay a pretty penny for the apartment complex with all those amenities and whatnot. But in May, it would go up like $500, and it was booked. For December, however, January and December, people typically don't move in. So the apartment complexes are going to make their prices more attractive so they can meet their, because every apartment complex, they have to meet their mark every month, or every 3 months, there's a mark that has to be made. And in the December, January, people don't tend to move in because it's the holidays. They're not worried about getting a new apartment. They're worried about all this stuff for the holidays. So fall, winter are the best months to move. Number 10, the last tip I'm going to give to you on this video. Again, if you want more tips, head out to my TikTok. Every day prices change. It can go up 5, it can go down 10. Next morning, it's up 15. If you see a good price, get it now. Because I was a victim of that. We seen a juicy price and we was like, oh yeah, we'll wait. That apartment was taken quick. That's a little bonus. Ask if there's holds, and if there's holds, how long can you hold an apartment for? The apartment complex I signed up for, they did not have holds. $400 cheaper than the rent we're paying right now. Mind you, we got the apartment in what, like June? What did I just say before? June is when those prices start going up. So we kind of missed out on that. Don't wait. Because there's most likely 10 other people waiting for that price to go down. You're waiting for it to go down 10, that person just waiting for it to go down like $1, and they're going to take it. And now you either gotta find a new apartment or you gotta pay that extra 15 or whatever the next available apartment's going for. But that is it for my video. I hope this helped you guys or gave you just a little bit of insight on what it's like moving to a different state or even getting an apartment, period. If you have any other questions, guys, please let me know. Instagram DMs, you can hit me up. In the comments is even better. I feel like I will respond faster if it's in my comments. Thank you so much for 1K subscribers, guys. I know I've been gone. This is why I just moved in to a very empty apartment. You guys, at least 2 videos in a week. When, I'm not sure, but I promise I will do that. I don't want y'all to think, damn, she gonna get 1K and then she gonna forget about us. No, it's just been very hectic. We'll do something for 1,500 subscribers, some type of challenge. I feel like that's what I owe you guys. I'm gonna do a crazy challenge soon. Another video will be posted next week, and I'll see you next weekend. Bye.